We have here a WINSPACE T1500 custom build-up bicycle in a size extra large, weighing in at 8.05 kilos and in pounds, 17 pounds, 12 ounces. Stay tuned to after video where you hear free up body contest on these Loon Hyper wheels. Thank you. Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video, and today I have for you guys this beautiful custom build-up of a WINSPACE T1500 frame slapped together with their own custom Hyper 50 SE wheels, and then a Shimano 105 12-speed Di2 group set. This bike all together is somewhere around $35,000 to $4,000, so $3,500 to $4,000, and this is what I believe the future of bicycling could be. Coming into 2023, where I just did my video where we talked about where the bicycle industry is going, a lot of these prices by these big brand name companies are super high, very inflated, and it's very rare that we're gonna find a full carbon fiber aero road bike like this with integrated cables into the cockpit with a one-piece carbon bar and stem, and also a 12-speed wireless Di2 system, or semi-wireless in this matter. This bike is literally built to the nine, and it's an extreme value of it. I'm gonna go over this whole bike, talk about the features of it, talk about how we got it for the price we did, and how I think this bike could really give those big competitors a run for their money. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So if you guys didn't know, yes, WINSPACE has a huge presence on YouTube. They do a lot by giving these YouTubers on cycling some product to talk about in their videos as well. Their product speaks for itself. They even have a couple race teams out there that they compete these bikes at high crit level races. But I, myself, am also a bicycle retailer for them. Ever since I got in contact with them after the YouTube saga, I reached out to Joe. I said, hey, I want to sell your product. Your stuff looks really good. So I do sell them also in my retail store along with Specialized and Scott. The reason for this was because I figured they were doing great looking bikes, great looking builds, especially their wheels as well by Loon, at such a competitive price point. It gave my consumers that were used to this high price point market another level of maybe achieving a bike, or maybe even getting a pair of wheels that they thought was maybe out of reach for them. So this bike built up with a 105 Di2 group set and carbon fiber wheels in there. Any other manufacturer, Trek, Scott, Pinarello, Specialized, Giant, Cannondale, everyone like this with this kind of group set on there, with this kind of bike, an aero bike like this, would probably be around $5,500 to $6,500 easily, maybe even $7,000 by some of these standards. We're seeing SRAM rival group sets out there on bikes like Trek. We're seeing SRAM rival group sets like there on Specialized, around $5,500 without even carbon fiber wheels in there. So to get this whole bicycle built up for $3,500 for $4,000, this is where we're going to start probably seeing these Chinese brand bike companies come out and compete against these bigger brands like these big box stores. So we sell these bikes. I've had a lot of feedback from them. I've had a lot of people who buy them, not even from my store, from WINSPACE Direct. I have guys that I sell these bikes to, comparing to a Scott or something like that ride the same group rides that we do, that ride the same crit races that guys are riding down here. They even compete down here as well. It's a bike that literally is a phenomenal looking bike for the money. So I think that hopefully WINSPACE will get out there and start making some more frames, some more options. This is their T1500 series. This is their aerodynamic series. They also make an SLC, which is more of like a true road climbing bike. But like I said, that frame set alone is $1,550 for a disc brake model. They also make a rim brake model, which is $100 cheaper. You can choose different rim widths and depths as well. These are the Hyper 50 SE wheel sets. These are $1,000 for the set front and rear. 50 millimeter depth carbon fiber rim, carbon fiber spoke, and then this is their own Loon hub. The only thing about these wheels that are different is that these are not ceramic bearings. These are just regular steel ball bearings in there. But great. And also their cockpit as well. This is made by them. This is a one-piece carbon fiber bar and stem that you can choose the length before you order. This is a 105 and a 44, and it comes with the integrated Garmin mount as well with the bike, but it gives the bike the whole clean look you want. There's no cable showing. It looks very sleek. It comes in a white, a gunmetal, and a blue. This one's for stock. This is extra large. But the reason why we got it for so cheap was because I got it off their Black Friday deal. I got the bars, the wheels, and the stem combo all for once. So the only thing we had to add on there was a 105 Di2 and the tires and saddle, which is a Specialized Female. But phenomenal. I mean, literally, we haven't had any issues for them. Customers are very happy with them because of the fact that the price they got them for, they perform really well. The hell's going on here? Right there. Son of a bitch. Anyways, before I got rudely interrupted. But yeah, and then like I said, the group set. This is a 105 Di2 12-speed. Now, you guys are probably saying 105, it's not a big deal. It's overpriced, underpriced, whatever it is. For the record, this is still a 12-speed electronic group set with a lot of trickle-down technology from the Dura-Ace. These shifters are exact same ergonomic and feel of the new Dura-Ace and Ultegra. The crankset looks very similar to it. I did a video comparing the 105 Di2 to the Ultegra Di2. Literally, I think it was a mixed difference of 200 grams. The derailleur looks the same. It's the same charging port. Very similar brake calipers. I mean, you're getting so much tech with this stuff, this new quality of what you're getting, that sometimes it's almost doesn't even make sense to pay the premium, because the trickle-down technology on this stuff, we didn't have this literally 2 years ago. You wouldn't get this nice technology that you would get on this bike now 2 years ago. You wouldn't even have a 105 or Ultegra Di2 option on there. It'd be, I don't even know. This group set's amazing. The 105 Di2, yes, it's more expensive than what people wanted it to be. I think they want to rival the SRAM rival Axis group set, but the 105 Di2 group set is phenomenal for what it is. All you have to do is get rid of the rotors and get rid of the oh yeah, but without further ado, let me do a full quick rundown of this bike of everything it came with. So this is, again, the WINSPACE T1500 frame. Retails $1,550. This is a size extra large in here. They have all the top tubes and geometry lengths on there as well. I'm about 6 foot. I could ride this frame. I could also ride a large in here. This bike would probably be more comfortable for me, but I stand over this top tube, and my area does not touch the top tube. But I would probably prefer a large with a little bit more aggressive long stem on there. Whatever you want. So again, with the handlebar cockpit on here, this is a full one-piece carbon fiber bar and stem combo. It says Built Tough right here. This is sold by WINSPACE Bikes. They do include a full included Garmin mount integrated stem, bolts on down here. And then the cables are ran through the handlebar, through the stem, and down into the space as well. These are breakaway spacers if you do want to drop down spacers and run a top tube cap on top of here as well. If the cables permit it, you can, so that way before you have to cut anything, you can figure out where you want your handlebar size at. For the bar tape, we did SuperCAS black bar tape on here. And then for the shifters, we have on here the 105 Shimano Di2 12-speed. Main thing about the shifters on here compared to Ultegra and Dura-Ace, they don't have the buttons on top here. So that's really only the slack. You got the same brake feel, the same shifters, ergonomics, the same paddle feel. Everything exactly identical except for it has the 105 name on there. We have the 105 the WINSPACE logo on the front here. We do have here, you can run this bike external as well, but we do have the internal option. So there's an external port here. Maybe you didn't want to deal with all this internal routing cable stuff. Maybe you want to run a bike that's easier to change out your headset. You can do that. You can run it here and here. We've done it before in the past. For these wheels, like I mentioned, these are the WINSPACE Hyper 50 SC wheel sets. These are more of their budget wheel set. The way they make them budgeted is that these are their more traditional WINSPACE Hyper 50mm rim. It's a more narrow rim than what the D45s are now. These are just like the classic style rims. And then the hubs are the same Loon hubs that are on every single WINSPACE wheel. They just come with standard steel cartridge bearings inside there instead of their ceramic bearings inside there. So, but the same carbon spoke, same rim as a classic Hyper D50 or a classic Hyper 50 wheel, just steel bearings inside there. We do have tubes inside there, and we slap these on with Continental 5700 by 25C tube tires. For the rotors on here, it's a 105 rotor, 160mm center lock rotor. We do have a center through axle right here. We have the 105 Shimano disc brake caliper. We have the WINSPACE logo going down the side. This white color is beautiful. It has like kind of like this glacier tint to it, a purple and blue, whichever way you look at it. These frames are a press fit 86 bottom bracket. I've heard mixed feelings about this. Some people want to just go threaded so that way they don't have to worry about creaking. Every single one that we built up, we haven't had any issues with creaking. That's because we install the bottom brackets pretty correctly. But just like anything, you ride it for long enough, it's been in service for long enough, 5, 6, 7 years down the road, you might get some creaking here and there because stuff is meant to be worn out after a while. But as long as it's installed right and done with a proper retaining compound, grease, Loctite, whatever you want to use, it shouldn't have any creaking noise on there. You have a place here for water bottle cage here, water bottle cage here. We have our 105 front derailleur as well. This is another big component to be different between the Ultegra Di2 and the 105. This is much more bulkier like the old school Di2. On these cranks, this is a compact 50-34 tooth crank. We have the 105 crank arm in here. This is a 175. For the chain, it's going to be a 12-speed chain. This is the exact same chain as an SLX chain. and also the 105 chain. And then for the cassette in the back is the 1134 cassette by Shimano 105. Then we have our new Shimano 105 rear derailleur. This is where you're going to charge it at. This is your buttons that you're going to press to go ahead and pair it, to adjust it, to do all the stuff you want to do to go ahead and get this thing configured to how you want it. For the rear wheel, it's the exact same depth as the front. It's a 50mm depth wheel with a Continental Grand Prix 5000 tire on there. I will give you a free buy sound test at the end of the video, but it's that classic 6-paw engagement WINSPACE Loon Hyper wheel right there. For the rotor in the rear, it's a 140mm rotor in the rear, and these go directly onto the frame with a flat mount 105 disc brake caliper. You can put an adapter on here to run a 160 if you wanted to, but it's very, very tiny, which looks really sleek. And then you do have your through axle back here as well. For the seat post, we have the carbon fiber proprietary seat post that goes with the WINSPACE. It's a nice arrow shape. And then you have your seat post clamp adjustment down here. And you have nice little rubber grommet pieces to kind of let dirt not get into there. For the back of the arrow section, it does have this kind of a T tail fin shape right here. Very arrow shaped on here. You have the wheel nice tucked in there. Nice little T flow shaped design in the back. But you can definitely tell it's an aero bike. And then for the saddle, like I mentioned before, it's a Specialized Phenom Expert saddle. Nice wide cutout to allow blood flow. But all right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Again, I think this is a great build for the price of the money. $3,500 for this build. Absolutely beautiful. WINSPACE T1500 frame, Hyper 50 SE wheels. And 105 Di2 12-speed group set. That's gonna do this for this video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. These are a WINSPACE Hyper 50 SC build. These are non-ceramic bearings, but still the original Hyper 50mm rim depth wheel and carbon spokes. Here comes a free buy sound test on these things right now. Mucho bien. All right, guys, good to do it. Thank you so much. I'll see you later.